What I feed my vegan baby, by popular demand. Jasper is 9 months old and he is a vegan baby. We always start with one of these, which are really overpriced, but he absolutely loves them. I do give him real food, not just purees, but he's not very good at them yet. And I'm not very good with anxiety that he's going to choke. So he's still mainly on puree and my booze. I make all of his purees in the baby brezza, which I'm obsessed with. It steams and blends at the same time, so I just put a bunch of vegetables in there, steam, and then it goes and blends it all up together. And then you pour them into these pouches. Handy. Ta-da! I also find it's the best way to get all healthy stuff in, because if I give him like a stick of broccoli, he'll around with it, push it around the table and throw it on the floor and doesn't really eat it. Whereas if I put broccoli, blend it up with some soy yogurt and other stuff he likes, then he eats it. Isn't that right, Jasper Leo? So what goes in there? In the morning, he has millet powder or oatmeal with a little bit of coconut yogurt mixed in to make it creamy, with cinnamon and chia seeds and prunes whizzed up. Again, I just whiz up prunes in the baby brezza and it makes a prune paste, which makes his number 2 perfect. Prune paste. Lunch today, steamed and whizzed up, normal potato, sweet potato, peas, carrot, silken tofu, garlic, lemon juice, paprika, bit of olive oil, all together. And I let him try it out of the machine just to make sure that he liked it. If not, I would alter, put something else in. Soy yogurt, he loves that. But as it happened, he loved it and I did too. It's actually quite delicious. More vitamins, more protein than you can shake a stick at. And I also made him the other day, which he loved. Frozen raspberries with mango and some coconut yogurt, just and back in the pouch again. One of these guys. He also has whizzed up chickpeas and different beans. Another favorite is broccoli, spinach, fresh basil, peas, lemon, soy yogurt, whizzed up again. He loves it. Avocado, good healthy fat. If he's not hungry anymore, I don't push it. I just give him as much as he wants until he's full. He has this, which is very important, Veg 1 vegan supplement. Vitamin B12, absolutely essential for vegan babies. Vitamin D, iodine, all that other stuff he needs. This book is really good. It's the only properly vegan book that I could find on Amazon, and it's fantastic. Written by actual registered dietitian nutritionists who know what the fuck they're talking about. And then this book I would also highly recommend. It's just like a storybook by Ruby Roth, but it just explains in a child-friendly way the ethics behind being vegan. So beautifully illustrated. As soon as he's old enough to understand it, then he can make his own decision whether he wants to continue to be vegan. Guess it really depends on whether he loves animals or not. We shall see. Any questions, guys? Let me know in the comments. I suppose it's going to annoy loads of people. It's about ice cream and why it's so effed up to give to babies. Now, granted, a lot of people just haven't really followed the bouncing ball on this, so they're sort of innocent because they haven't really thought about it. And then there are other people who know about it and they don't care, and that's also fine. But just stay with me. You know where ice cream comes from, right? It comes from milk. You know where milk comes from, right? Titties. You know what cow's milk is for? Baby cows. You know what it's not for? Baby humans. You know how they get the milk from the mother cow? They don't just produce milk all the time. They're like us. They produce milk when they're pregnant and when they have little babies. A dairy cow is kept pregnant or with a small calf for their entire life, which is not very long, about 5 years until they kill them. And the calves get taken away from their mums way too soon. The males get sold for meat usually. The females go back into the dairy system. The mums miss their calves. We steal the milk. As a mother, you have to think about that. Can you imagine if aliens came down, they were more intelligent and strong than we were, and they started enslaving human mums and taking their milk for their babies? For context, a PR just invited me to an event for kids at a petting zoo with ice cream afterwards. Like, follow the bouncing ball. Like, how up is that? You're going to pet the baby animals that have been taken away from their mothers, and then you're going to feed your kid the stolen milk. Those cute male babies are going to the slaughterhouse. So are the females. They're all going to the slaughterhouse. But dairy is so much more cruel than meat. At least with meat, they just have a life. Sometimes it's okay in the fields and then they die. But the females, there's no nice way to do this. There's no ethical way to keep female cows pregnant and having babies and then taking the babies away for their entire lifespan. I love cheese as much as the next person, and it was really hard to give up. And I was like, oh, I'll get a cow one day in my own land. I'd love a farm. And then I can have that milk for that cheese. And I can just, it can hang out with its calf and it's fine. I'll just take the excess. What a nice idea. Yeah, so then what do you do with the calf? Does it just join the flock? And then you have to keep doing that to keep getting milk. Eventually you have loads of cows you can't take care of. There's no ethical way to do it. I just find it really sad and it really pisses me off. Even more so now that I'm a breastfeeding mother. I just think how fucking cruel to take away the little thing that's nursing from its mum, when that's all you want to do as a mother is feed your baby. Okay, you're right, but you're also very, very wrong. I love animals. I've always loved animals, and I haven't always been vegan. Initially, because I just didn't really know what it was all about. I mean, we all grew up with Dairy Lee's logo is a freaking laughing cow. It is so effed up when you think about it. There is nothing funny about the dairy industry. It's way worse than the meat industry. Also, I've fallen off the wagon a few times. But I challenge you to watch Earthlings. It's a documentary with undercover footage of the animal industry. Meat, dairy, but also fur, leather. If you can see that and watch that with your eyeballs and still think it's okay to eat meat and dairy, you can't really love animals. It's just morally incompatible to pay other people to do things that you couldn't do personally to animals, which is what you're doing if you buy meat or dairy. And it's not the death I have a problem with, it's the life they have before the death. In the vast majority of farms. I truly do believe that one day, or I certainly hope, we will look back on what we do to animals the same way we look back at what we did to slaves. Because animals are slaves. We round them up, we make them work until they die, and we don't pay them anything. Think of it like this. If you love animals, you probably have a cat or a dog, maybe. Say you die and there's no one to look after your cat/dog after you're gone. Would you be okay with your dog/cat going into a farm environment? So they are shoved in with a bunch of others, then rounded up, put on trucks and taken to a slaughterhouse. Like, that's definitely how your dog/cat's life is going to end, in a really terrifying and horrible way. If you aren't cool with that concept for your cat or your dog, why are you cool with it with pigs and cows and sheep? So what you might mean when you say this is that you love cats and dogs because you wouldn't want to subject them to farm conditions. That's not the same as loving animals. All animals, and thinking all animals deserve a better lot in life. I would like to also reiterate, I have fallen off the wagon. I've succumbed to temptation. I'm not perfect, and I would be a hypocrite to suggest otherwise, but I always get back on the wagon, and I think that's really important because it's something I do really, really care about. And if you really do love animals, you kind of have to interrogate that, and you have to live up to it. At least as much as you can, because otherwise you don't really, really love animals.